Good morning, Kat John. Thank you for joining us here at Yellow Shelf.
Pleasure. Great to be here, Joe.
Kat, congratulations on your new book, Authentic, Coming Home to Your True Self. What do we need to know about this, well, stunning book of yours?
Yeah, it's it's a big book, right? It's a little book, but inside of it, it's big and it's juicy. And I guess um, for people to know about this and what there is to know about this is that the path of authenticity. I think it's a word that gets thrown around a lot. There's authentic leadership, there's be authentic, there's be real to yourself, live authentic, hashtag, all that kind of stuff. But the truth of living it is bloody hard.
Yeah.
Right. And what this book is about is it brings some grounding and realness to the path of living authentically, because it is not a place that we end up at and we go, cool, I'm done, finished.
Yeah.
It is a journey where there are going to be times where we are nailing who we are, where we feel so relaxed in our boots and our body and ourself. And then there are going to be times where we go straight back into our patterning of people pleasing or overachieving or hyper perfectionism or whatever it might be. And yeah, like I said, it brings realness to that path.
Yeah. And that's so true, isn't it? It's definitely not a destination, it's a
No.
journey, and it's, yeah, I think that's beautiful. Kat, tell us a little bit about what inspired you to write the book. I think,
Mm.
if you're willing to share a bit about yourself and your
Mm.
background, your journey to why you actually penned a book.
Yeah. I guess the path of authenticity has been my life's journey, right? It'd be pretty weird if I called myself an authenticity coach and didn't go through the ringer.
Yeah.
But I've been through the ringer, and yeah, it's been a difficult road, but it's taken the time and necessary time to finally go, oh wow, I do know who I am. And there are going to be times where I forget who I am, but really, back in the day, I was an epic people pleaser, a social chameleon. Really forwent my beliefs, my values, what I stood for, to get validated, to be liked, to be accepted, and I think that's a fairly common journey that we can take. And yeah, life before I knew this work, and life before I actually knew my true self was really bloody hard. It
Mm.
was hard, it was so exhausting, wondering who I thought I had to be for the world to like me just that bit better. Do I edit this? Do I people pretzel that? Do I bend myself into some kind of, strange gymnast position to be like, do you like this?
Yeah.
Do you like that? Is
Pick
this good for
me.
you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Am I too loud? Okay, I'll soften. Am I too quiet? Okay, I'll come out of myself. And um, really, the catalyst for me, Joe, was I was 23, and from the ages of 18 to 23, which I write about in the book, I was in chronic pain, and I was a registered nurse back then. And I didn't know what the pain was. All I knew that it was there, and my eyes were flickering, and I had all these, very strange symptoms that I just was being little miss ignorant to. Um, and there was one day that I was at the top of a set of stairs, and I went to walk down them, and I couldn't walk. Couldn't. My brain and my foot did not compute. And at that time, I was on high dose medication, and like I said, in a busy nursing practice. And that was like my gnarly wake up call. I was sent to an MRI, got the MRI. 2 days later, I'm in a neurosurgeon's office telling me that I need to have brain surgery for a congenital condition that, in time, if left untreated, it can turn to paraplegia because your nerves are so badly compressed by this condition.
Yep.
So that woke me up, and after I had the surgery, it didn't fix the chronic pain. It fixed everything structurally, but I was left with chronic pain still, which absolutely, it took over my life. Anyone who has had chronic nerve pain before, fibromyalgia, will know how debilitating it can be.
Yeah.
and how powerful and potent the stories are in making you not want to go out, in making you not want to exercise, in making you not want to look after yourself, because it's just so defeating. So long story short, I met a professor of neurology at the age of 24 who said to me, Kat, I want you to imagine an Olympic athlete who will train for their gold medal day after day after day after day because they want that gold medal so badly. And he said, I need you to want something as much as they want a gold medal. Like, what is it, Kat? And I just said to him, Professor, I want to be free. I want to be free to be me. I want to be free to be myself. I want to do my life the way I want to do it. And he said, that's your gold medal.
Yeah.
So he taught me about visualization and about he didn't use the word manifestation, but he
Yeah.
taught me about visualization and to act in favor of that Kat that I was envisioning.
Yes.
And so 10 months of that and doing something every day for future Kat that was well, happy, free, etc. Within 10 months, my chronic pain of 6 years was gone. And so since then, I was really on this quest to, one, keep asking myself what other gold medals are inside of me. And the more I kept asking, the more these answers just kept coming about of, well, here's what we want next, and here's what we would love to see expressed next. And that's eventually what had led to this book many, many, many moons later, many moons later. But yeah, that's part of the backstory of this work and the reasoning for this book.
Yeah. And look, I've read the book. I think, for me, so much of it reflected, you can relate in your own way, can't you, in the book? And I think it made me think about the times in my life where I didn't have boundaries and I probably should have. And there's so much relatable and honesty, and hence the title in his book that I absolutely recommend to have a read. Kat, can I just ask you, you're the triple threat of coach, keynote speaker, podcast host, your podcast, Real, Raw, and Relatable. We should get you back on here to talk about that some other time. But
awesome.
How's the launch? How's the exciting times ahead with the book?
Yeah, it's been amazing. So I had a Melbourne book event when it first came out, and then now I'm on a regional tour around Victoria, which has been amazing. I just kept envisioning these really beautiful, intimate gatherings, and they have been exactly that. 50 people in a room, just all there, like eagerly, just wanting to soak in as much information to wake themselves up.
Yeah.
And the people that I get to meet and the stories that I hear, and I guess what the most beautiful thing that I'm discovering is that me being myself gives permission for other people to be themselves.
Yeah.
And really, I just think, oh my God, Kat, it's as simple as that. Like, it's as simple as that. Whenever I get too confused in my head, or like, what am I doing? Is this the right path? Yada, yada, yada. Do I even want to be doing this anymore? It's like, oh gosh, that's it.
Yeah.
You being you, and no different. If you're you, it inspires me to be me. If I see someone else being them, I'm like, damn it, that ownership looks good on them.
Yeah.
So it's been incredible. It's been wonderful. There's been great opportunities that have come up from it. Coaching clients coming through it. I mean, it's just been this great opening. So yeah, I'm stoked. I'm really stoked.
And finally, and look, I would recommend anyone check out your Instagram and check out your website. You have a really vibrant, cool website. Have a look at that. But what's the best way, if we're curious about Kat John, we're curious about the book, what's the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, best way to connect, I would say, is if you're curious about the book, get the book. It's that's just plain and simple. But I think a cool way to get to know me and my work as well is the podcast. You'll hear how I bring in themes and talk about them and open them up and then close them off and leave you with like thought-provoking and self-reflective type questions. That's an awesome way. But for bite-sized content, obviously Instagram's cool. But if you're wanting to kind of like soak in some juice a little more and marinate, then the podcast would be the next step.
Awesome. And it was great to see we have a global audience here. So it was great to see you can get your book globally through Amazon.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Kat, I'll put all that in the show notes. Thank you so much for talking to Yellow Shelf. Can I hold you to the promise that we'll get you back maybe later in the year to talk about your podcast?
100%. Yeah.
Awesome. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jo.
Cheers.